If we discovered aliens, what would the world look like? Here's the uncomfortable answer. Major websites would crash, and global markets could plunge. You might wonder what the stock market and the internet have to do with extraterrestrials. Shouldn't the planet explode in celebration? In the first hours, yes, it probably would. But the same word would also ignite a worldwide stampede for information. When billions of people search, stream, post, and refresh at once, servers don't just slow down, they can go down. Then comes the second shock: finance. The Milky Way contains roughly 250 billion stars. Even if intelligent life is extremely rare, say 1 in 10 billion, basic math still suggests the galaxy could host many civilizations. And in the real world, the topic has already moved from rumor to formal discussion. In the US Capitol, there have been public hearings about UAPs. Those hearings did not confirm extraterrestrial life, but they did something important. They pushed the search for non-human intelligence from fringe talk into government and scientific agendas. Now think back to Stephen Hawking's warning. Don't answer. Don't answer. Don't answer. What was he really worried about? Probably not the cartoon version of aliens, little green men with gadgets. He was warning us about encountering an intelligence we might not understand at all, the way an ant cannot understand a city. So let's run a thought experiment. Suppose in the next second, China's fast telescope and America's SETI both detect the same transmission from 1,200 light-years away. Clear, patterned, and impossible to explain by natural phenomena. In other words, an intelligent signal. What would the world become? It wouldn't be a simple global party. It would be a civilization-level tsunami, rolling through science, religion, politics, economics, and the private lives of ordinary people. And this isn't fantasy for its own sake. It's a projection based on how complex systems react to extreme uncertainty, and on frameworks scientists already use when thinking about life beyond Earth. You can think of it as 3 levels of shock. Level 1 is global disorder. From day 1 to day 7, the news detonates. There's joy, disbelief, and a sense of history cracking open. But that celebration might not last 24 hours, because the first system we depend on could wobble: the global financial markets. Forecasting models would fail in real time. Stocks, futures, and currency markets could hit violent circuit breakers. If trust evaporates, the value represented in your account may be forced into rapid repricing on a scale we rarely see. And governments? They wouldn't be toasting. Their first move would be readiness. The highest levels of contingency planning would activate. Nuclear powers would raise alert status, not necessarily to fight aliens, but because uncertainty between nations becomes dangerous fast. It's a kind of dark forest deterrence logic. When something unknown appears outside your door, you don't only watch the door, you watch everyone else in the room too. For regular people, stockpiling supplies would be only one small piece. The bigger explosion would be informational and psychological. Online, thousands of signal interpretation groups would appear overnight, and rumors would spread at a speed far beyond any virus. At the same time, religions and worldviews would face a pressure test they haven't seen in centuries. Did God create only humans, or is life a wider story? So level 2 is the decoding abyss. From the first month to the first year, after the first wave of chaos, the world turns toward scientists. They have a signal. What's first? Reply with hello? No. Step 1 is decoding, like an archaeologist facing a mysterious ancient script. But there's a serious possibility we won't understand it at all. Aren't math and physics universal? In principle, yes. But language can be built on layers of abstraction. An alien civilization might encode meaning using higher dimensional mathematics or concepts outside human intuition. A two-dimensional being can't truly grasp a three-dimensional sphere. Likewise, a three-dimensional brain may not be able to fully process a four-dimensional structure like a Klein bottle. What they send might not be a greeting. It could be a model, a proof, or a blueprint our minds can't even recognize as information. And can we infer whether they're good or evil? Almost impossible. Good and evil are human moral categories shaped by human needs. A completely different species might not map onto our ethics in any clean way. But there is one chilling clue we can try to estimate: how advanced they are. That's where the Kardashev Scale comes in. A Type 1 civilization can harness the energy of its planet. Type 2 can harness the energy of an entire star system. Type 3 can command energy on the scale of a galaxy. If the signal appears to come from a system suggesting Type 2 capabilities, we're no longer talking about advanced. We're talking about a civilization that treats stars like power banks. From that vantage point, we might not even rate as ants, more like the rock next to an ant. Which leads to a harsh hypothesis often associated with Liu Cixin's the three-body problem, the dark forest idea. It's science fiction, but its core logic borrows from game theory and survival dynamics. Imagine the universe as a dark forest where every civilization is an armed hunter. If you spot another hunter, you can't know their intent. You also can't know how fast their technology might grow. And because survival is the first rule, the coldest, rational move might be to strike first. In that framework, discovery can mean destruction. Level 3 is the long-term mirror. Over years, the biggest impact may not be what we learn about them. It's what we learn about ourselves. A disturbing question surfaces. What if they found us long ago and ignored us? That leads to the zoo hypothesis, sometimes called the laboratory idea. Earth could be a preserve, a controlled observation site, a social experiment. They set the rules. We live inside them. Like we study ants, they study us. If that were true, was this signal a leak, an accident, or a deliberate shift into the next phase of observation? So would confirmation of aliens unite humanity? In the short term, maybe. An external unknown can produce a fragile unity, a tense, terrifying balance. But in the long run, a deeper split is likely. Survival strategy. The world could divide into two camps. The responders would argue that contact is humanity's chance to leap forward and that we must engage. The silence camp would demand global quiet, treating any attempt to reply as a betrayal of the species and pushing for extreme measures to stop it. That conflict could become the most fundamental ideological battle in human history. And what does all of this mean for your life and mine? Two things at once: the possibility of a technological explosion and a crisis of meaning. If the signal carries knowledge beyond our science, it could accelerate breakthroughs in energy, medicine, and materials. But if we learn for certain that we're ordinary, maybe even weak, then human pride, purpose, creativity, and the foundations of faith may need to be rewritten. So we return to the question we started with. Hawking's warning, "Don't answer," might not be paranoia. Discovering aliens wouldn't just be a close encounter. It would be a mirror held up to civilization itself, reflecting our fear, our suspicion, our wisdom, and our capacity for unity. It could be a disaster, or it could be humanity's coming-of-age moment. But if that day arrives, we won't be who we were yesterday. For the first time, as one species. We'll face the ocean of stars knowing we are not alone. Until then, appreciate this strange era when we still believe we might be unique. Now the ultimate question is yours. If the button were in your hand, would you respond or stay silent forever? Write your choice and your reasons in the comments.